Now, with Kenpachi releasing next week or the end of next week, is he going to be a replacement for Ichigo? I don't feel like many people went in for Ichigo or even actually decided to kind of max him out and whatnot. Now, truth be told, as time has gone on, Ichigo hasn't exactly lost its touch, but in terms of being number one, he has technically dropped third place. Obviously, we've got to take into consideration team comp, the characters that have released, and yeah, just all of that basically. And again, when it comes to DPS, comparing it to the other boys, I think Ichigo right now is in third place and soon to be fourth place if Kenpachi is done correctly, which I do believe by the looks of it he's going to be an absolute menace. One thing which I will say, with if he is going to be a slash typing, slash team members or team comp should I say, it's all about just hacking and slashing. I mean, kind of started off with Ichigo. I mean, that's all that we're doing with Ichigo, as you guys can see, right? It's just kind of attack, branch attack, attack. It's just staying on that enemy, of course, right? That's the premise of this typing, hence why I very much look forward to on Kenpachi. And if he is slash, which is very fitting, we are just going to be on that barrage of constant attack towards the enemy. So eager to see on how he'll fare. Obviously my Ichigo is maxed. I do plan on maxing out Kenpachi, so obviously that will be interesting seeing the comparison, of course. But I will say, when it comes to Kenpachi, he does have the upper hand, because unfortunately with Ichigo, with his kit, there are key parts of his kit that were kind of not exactly done in the best manner, should I say, and it started to show with obviously the characters that were releasing that were on the DPS form, and yeah, he has kind of slightly dropped below. Obviously, when it comes to his, I believe it's the stamp card, which I know that certain CM players aren't exactly I'll say CM players, I'm sure most aren't exactly a big fan of course, because it's just more so of catering on the countering side of it. His ultimate does take a hot minute to build up to if you don't cater to the ultimate charge on his stamp set, of course, so there is that a bit of an issue. The holification does take a hot minute, but once it's in effect, then obviously my man goes into some rage mode, and this is why I'm very, very excited to see on what Kenpachi is going to be like once he is in his state. If Ichigo is doing all of this and Kenpachi's in the slash typing, then I am expecting some great results. And as you guys know, as time goes on, every time a new character releases, whatever typing that they are, whatever role that they are, the newest character typically outshines. And so I think in this case, and you know, many people not really going too crazy for Ichigo, I suspect, right? Yeah, Kenpachi might be that replacement. I think this is going to be the ultimate replacement, should I say, for the slash typing. I do hope that he is slash typing, although as it stands, slash is the third best team now, I would say, which makes strike the last slot. So I mean, strike does kind of need all the help they can get, but if the I guess if the leaks are correct, then in due time strike will be up there with the heavy hitters, as you could say, of course. But again, my boy Ichigo, holification Ichigo, I feel like justice wasn't done. And unfortunately, I don't think the developers can go back on and change in a few things, but I think it was needed. I don't know, there are key things about his kit where I'm just like, it's definitely going to hold him back, and it is starting to show. One of the biggest hatreds towards holification Ichigo, even I'm just like, bruh, I don't. There are some times where if I'm having to use slash, I will actually take away his stamp card, because I'm just like, bruh, this ain't it. This is not it. Sometimes I switch it out for anything to do with combat skill, so that way I can get a little bit more damage out of that, of course. But yeah, so in the holification state, you can actively press the counterattack, and then obviously from that you get a crit rate increase of 15%. When launching the counterattack, the critical increases by 25%. So I mean, the critical rate increase is not too bad, right? It does kind of help out once you're in that holification state and you activate the counterattack. That's a little bit of a bonus, but if the crit rate is... Oh, and also, yeah, damage caused by counterattack increases by 60%. So, I don't know, I feel like with the whole counterattacking, because they did lean a little bit more into this Ichigo in terms of the whole counterattacking mechanic, and I'm just like, not a fan of it. Not a fan of it. I feel like this crit rate could have done in a better way. Maybe if you use a technique, it gives you the increase, or maybe if you activate the holification, you get the 25%, and then when you launch the combat skill, because you can launch it twice, maybe that gives you an increase in damage. I feel like something along the line of that should have been the case. Again, this was a bit of a letdown, and again, a lot of people did find it that his this is one of the more weaker stamp cards, unfortunately. That's just the truth, of course. And then again, furthermore, going into his kit, I mean, he's got a good amount of critical increase support. I feel like things could have been done a lot better, of course. I believe there's furthermore, so yeah, I mean, his 4th dupe, Ichigo's counterattack does 100% more damage. Again, it's more so in favor of on having the stamp card, but the results are just not it personally. So this was a big waste. To me, this is a big waste. When you launch a special attack, it will grant you a quick charge if you don't already have one. Otherwise, it will be considered consumed instantly, increasing damage of the. Okay, yeah, this is pretty nice. But yeah, that 4th dupe was a missed opportunity to have something big there. Rather than falling back onto supporting the counter-attack. But I've also just noticed that when it comes to this Ichigo, in a way, it's kind of done in a similar fashion for Kenpachi. Hence why I say that if Kenpachi is releasing, he has to be Slash, and ultimately he is going to be the one that takes over, right? This is the Ichigo holification, Ichigo replacement. Not to say that he's going to completely replace him, but as I am going to max him out, I do believe my Kenpachi will have the way more upper hand, right? But where was it? Kenpachi, I mean, again, when it comes to that transformation and that second ultimate, Ichigo is, he does 497% damage, and then he explodes, dealing 1500. I do believe that, seeing how the Ichigo build is, with obviously the sub skills with the transformation and the second ultimate, very done in a similar fashion here, that's going to be, I guess, transferred over to Kenpachi. We are going to be expecting to see some insane numbers. Again, Ichigo himself, my man can drop some numbers. He can. But if we're going to get a newer slash DPS character, I can only imagine on what Kenpachi will be at performing, especially once the eye badge is off. I'm expecting some insane numbers right now, right? But one thing which I did notice is that he also has it so that obviously once the critical rate exceeds 100%, every 1% will become an additional 1.5 critical damage. I believe Kenpachi's 1.75. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure Kenpachi has a little bit more to it. So again, the build of Ichigo is done in a very similar fashion to how Kenpachi's looking. So again, one of the big reasons why I'm very much excited to see on how Kenpachi will work, because again, Ichigo himself is still a broken character, was a broken character at the very beginning of the game, literally stomping through all types of content, of course. So I am very much excited to see on how Kenpachi will fare and how much more damage he'll be performing. It's just very unfortunate in the fact that there are certain things about Ichigo's kit that is kind of, I wouldn't say holding him back, but it's kind of letting him down to where he could have been an absolute beast of a character if they weren't so heavy on certain things that weren't, I don't know, for me the performance is in there in terms of like the whole counter-attacking. On how much they kind of led into that, or lead into that, should I say. So that, again, that's just my take on things, of course. And again, this is one of the big reasons why I tend to forcefully cater to like things that can allow me to do more damage through the skills and whatnot, like the combat skills and whatnot, rather than forcefully having to, you know, have that counter attack at my disposal. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, they could have all, well, I'm still waiting for it, but they really need to drop this Ukiera card back in the alpha days, where I think it was branch attacks had an increase. Oh my god, that would do so well for this Ichigo. Again, this man is a branch fiesta. I mean, to be fair, that'll also work for Kenpachi. If there is a lot of branch attacks to be gathered through his ultimate state awakening, so that'll be interesting to see. But yeah, I think in the case of my boy Ichigo, there are certain things that has kind of let him down, to where I think Kenpachi is going to be a very easy replacement for him if they are going to go in the direction of releasing him as a slash DPS. I wouldn't say it's going to be a complete replacement. I mean, Ichigo will still hold his own, he still is, but there are certain things that kind of pull down Ichigo to where Kenpachi will rise, because again, by having the early look on Kenpachi already, this man is looking to be an absolute monstrous character.